Hey there, Artist Caleb here, back with the 39 steps, and we're continuing on now with Deeper Into This Mess. You see, I told you, deeper into this mess. Like sands through the hourglass, so are the 39 steps. All we are is dust in the wind, dude. Dust? Wind? Dude. 10 out of 10 critics agree. The 39 Steps is the most action-packed game of the year.
George, I don't pay you to be a canary.
Sorry, Mr. Gower. I've got an idea.
Stop that row, Paddock. There's a friend of mine, Captain...
America.
Captain...
Obvious.
He's dossing down in there. Get breakfast for 2, and then come and speak to me.
Idiot. The guy's so fired. I mean, so fired. He had about as much gift of the gab as a hippopotamus, and was not a great hand at valeting, but I knew I could count on his loyalty. There's a silhouette of him in emo pants. Paddock was a fellow I had done a good turn to out on the Seloquy, and I had unspanned him as my servant as soon as I got to England. Here's a picture on the right I took of him jumping off the bridge in London.
There's a naked bloke in the window. There's a naked bloke eating breakfast.
I told Paddock a fine story about how my friend was a great swell, and his nerves pretty bad from overwork, who wanted absolute rest and stillness. Nobody had got to know he was here, or he would be besieged by communications from the India office, and the Prime Minister, and his cure would be ruined. He simply wouldn't be able to listen to Friday I'm in Love. And I'm bound to say Scudder played up splendidly when he came to breakfast. He fixed Paddock with his eyeglasses, just like a British officer, asked him about the Boer War, and slung out at me a lot of stuff about imaginary pals. Strange little mechanical dolls, he said. They're my friends, I made them. Paddock couldn't learn to call me sir, but he sirred Scudder as if his life depended on it. Like Marcy from Peanuts. I mean, what was that about anyway, Charles Schultz? Never understood that. I left him with the newspaper and a box of cigars, and headed out to Alexandra Park Racecourse. I owed Big Louie, 27 large. If I didn't pay up, he was going to take over the television station that my Uncle Harvey owned. When I got back, the lift man had an important face. He must have lifted it from an important person.
Nasty business here this morning, sir. Gent in number 15 been and shot himself. I've just took him to the mortuary. The police are up there now.
What, you mean like the band? With Sting?
Going up.
I ascended to number 15 and found a couple of bobbies and an inspector busy making an examination. I asked a few idiotic questions and they soon kicked me out.
Say, officers, what color would a Smurf turn if you choked it? Why do they call it taking a dump when you're actually leaving it?
I attended the inquest the next day.
No one expects the Spanish inquest.
The jury found it a case of suicide while of unsound mind. I didn't understand that because minds don't really make sounds per se. I gave Scudder a full account of the affair, and it interested him greatly. He said, I thought it was a murder, not an affair. He said he wished he could have attended, for he reckoned it would be about as spicy as to read one's own obituary notice. If you were munching on ghost peppers at any rate. Scudder, where are you? The lights have gone out. Scudder was very peaceful the first 2 days he stayed with me. He read and smoked a bit, and made a heap of jottings in a notebook, and every night we had a game of chess, at which he beat me hollow, with brass knuckles. But on the 3rd day I could see he was beginning to get restless.
I find chess to be boring after a time, Hannah. Don't you have a PlayStation about the place?
He fixed up a list of days and started making remarks against them. He started listening for little noises and was always asking me if Paddock could be trusted. I always said, as far as I can push him down a flight of stairs. Once or twice he got very peevish and apologized for it. I said, that's okay, as long as you don't get poopish. I didn't blame him. I made every allowance, for he had taken on a fairly stiff job. Get it? Stiff because there was a dead body? And then one night he was very solemn.
Say, Hanny.
What is it?
Judge, I should let you a bit deeper into this business. I should hate to go out without leaving somebody else to put up a fight.
He began to tell me in detail what I had only heard from him vaguely. I did not give him very close attention. The fact is, I was more interested in his own adventures than in his high politics, and all this talk about legalizing weed. He talked about a black stone and a man that lisped in his speech, and he described very particularly somebody that he never referred to without a shudder, a scudder shudder, if you will, an old man who could hood his eyes like a hawk. I reckon that Keralides and his affairs were not my business, so a lot that Scudder said slipped clean out of my memory. He was very clear that the danger to Keralides would not begin until he had got to London, and would come from the very highest quarters, not the lower nickels, dimes, or pennies, where there would be no thought of suspicion. He mentioned the name of a woman, Julia Smith, as having something to do with the danger. She would be the decoy, I gathered, to get Keralides out of the care of his guards. He remained solemn for the rest of the evening, and spoke a good deal about death, though most people speak kind of a bad deal about it, but...
I reckon it's like going to sleep when you're pretty well tired out.
From being shot.
Awaking to find a summer day with the scent of hay coming in at the window.
With a hint of blood and an uncontrollable bowel movement.
I used to thank God for such mornings way back in the bluegrass country.
With the purple trees and green sky.
And I guess I'll thank him when I wake up on the other side of Jordan.
Jordan's a halfback and he's really good at blocking.
The next day he was much more cheerful, and read the life of Stonewall Jackson much of the time, while the rest of London celebrated Empire Day.
Dun da 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 dun da 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 dun 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 da dun dun da da.
I went out to dinner with a mining engineer, whom I had to see on business. I told him to mind his own business, and came back in time for our game of chess before turning in.
Oh, I love that. I love that. The rain, it's just, I'm just going to sit here and listen to this. Thank heavens for new door technology. Okay, grab this, yank it around, pull it to the side, push it in. Whew. Whoa, I gotta stop leaving my gold out.
Mr. Hannay, I left
Captain Digby reading in the smoking room with the fresh box of cigars. He was not interested
in the Empire Day celebrations, but allowed me leave to go see them. I have acquired fresh eggs and bacon for tomorrow's breakfast. Paddock. Dang it, Paddock, I wanted Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Freaking Paddock every time, I swear. Is there anyone hiding there in the dark?
God! Who knocked over my chair?
Scudder!
Is this one of your disguises?
All right, well, And that's the end of this chapter, but I'll see you again really soon in the next chapter. And I'm just having a blast with this, and I hope you are too. All right, I'll see you later.